Okay, good hello. Hi, Telemere. Welcome in. I'm gonna find the note real quick that I made about luck because I wrote it down and I need to find it again. I don't think it's in here. No, this is my old notebook I had. Oh geez, I'm gonna sneeze. Welcome in. Oh geez, I haven't opened this in a long time. That was a huge crunch. Alright, that's the full moon spread, new moon spread, New Year's planning. I know it's in here. Yeah, I don't mind you coming in. I hope you're doing well. All considering, how things are. Trying to find it. Yeah. It's rough all over. Just my country's administration does not make things easy. I will have to say. And that's very light on the matter. I swear I had it. Probably wrote it in a different... Aha ha ha! Okay, it's this one. I'm a very serious author. Got little tiny rainbows all over the place. I found it. There we go. So, I could do this stream. Let me go ahead and put this back. This is the notebook I started out with when I was writing my first draft of the Doppelganger Queen. Oh my goodness, if I could speak today. This is the first. I had all of my notes. I was really getting into the character analysis of it all. It's just really messy scrawling stuff. I do tend to write down all of my social media and analytics, in here too. Trying to do both at the same time, and that has a tendency to pop into my notes. Eventually, I will have just a notebook just for social media analytics or anything that's business, not really writing story related stuff, but not this day. So let me go ahead and put this back. Today's theme is about luck. I don't think I put it up as a channel point request. Maybe I could find that pretty soon. Let me go ahead and create that just in case people want a personal luck reading. How I personally see luck is a little bit different from other people. It comes and goes, personally. You're not born unlucky. You're not born lucky. Certain things will flow easier for you depending on your astrological chart. Things just click. And things will go a little bit smoothly for you because you're just a little bit more skilled in that department. Other than that, I don't think luck is set for a person for their whole life. That's just how I think. But, there are some good days and there's some bad days. And sometimes when we have really bad days, we tend to forget things that go very well for us, or like any hidden talents or resources or skills that we have, that we could actually use, or that we take for granted and we tend to like cast aside because we're just so focused on the bad things. So that's kind of like how this day's stream is going to go. Um, it's not about like your worth as a person, whether you're lucky or not, or anything like that. So it's not the traditional Eastern viewpoint about luck, um, that I'm going to use here. It's a little bit more. Um, how should I say it? It's a little bit more complex than people would like to dive into. Life is far more complex than people like to admit. Do I have that up? No, I don't. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a new one. Yeah, for real. Absolutely. Like, if you believe in wishes, maybe that is a stronger, factor in your life, which is very luck adjacent, in my opinion. If you believe in, karmatic things, that could throw in one's philosophy too. It just really depends on how we grapple the chaos in our lives. That's all it really comes down to, is how do we explain things that are just out of control, or at least out of our control, things that are more chaotic, that feels like it's just, a whim. Things just happen out of nowhere, out of the blue. And we humans like to put things in categories and patterns and, trends and graphs and everything else. I'm very much guilty of that too. But eventually we just have to accept that, things are just very chaotic at times. Things happened and just clicks into place unexpectedly. And this is kind of like part of that whole, occult experience, part of trying to explain away, the unexpected, goodness or unexpected badness that life happens, that life brings into our lives. And this is one of them, this luck thing that happens. A lot of superstitions come out of it, because we try to explain, cause and effect, that type of thing. Like, if this happens, then this must happen too. And some things just stick. Like the whole, step on a crack, you break your mother's back kind of situation. Um, a whole 9 yards. Um, I kind of. I used to be one of those that was superstitious, but eventually I kind of grew out of it as I started accepting life in its complexions and like the gray areas of life, the nuances of life. We have a tendency, especially now in today's society, where we have a very broad brush approach to everything. Oh, because this one person under this label did this one bad thing, everyone else is condemned if they're under this label now. And it's wild how we just go full on, attack just because of that one thing or that one misspoken thing or whatever it is. And it's just, I mean, sometimes, yeah, sometimes the kettle is black, sometimes you are calling, what it is, what it is. But other times it's like these generalizations are out of hand. Life is far more complex than like group A versus group B. It depends on how they're related. Like, people have a tendency to use, they tend to misunderstand cause and effect. They don't take like physics into account or like science into account. They go like, oh, you broke a mirror, now all these awful things are going to happen to you because you broke a mirror, where the mirror is nothing to do with all the events that had occurred. They take it as an omen. And I honestly believe, because of the power of self-fulfilling prophecy, where we have a tendency to create our own destiny, even if it's a little bit tiny, we have a tendency to go, to create, whatever it is we thought it should be. Like, oh, I'm going to have bad luck. Okay, I'm going to be clumsy now. I'm going to drop things now. I'm going to start paying attention all to the bad things that normally were there to begin with. I just tend to ignore it. If I take physics into account, the big question is, anything random? Yes. We do have random things that happen. If you take science into account, yes, random things do happen. Now, sometimes there is a cause and a reason for these things happen. Okay, look at our weather. It is a slow buildup as things kind of snowball into this effect. That is largely taught in our schools about like how rainwater and the evaporation of the ocean brings these clouds, and eventually, they become storms and they condense into rain. We could learn about those things, but there's a lot of stuff that happens in our world that we haven't explained yet. And that's where it comes into this whole play of luck, randomness, etc. There are some things we don't or cannot explain. That is outside the probabilities that we had set up. But that doesn't mean that there's no explanation. Sometimes things happen without us knowing the processes that led it to occur. And sometimes we should just take those type of random things as nothing less than those that we know that it's going to be predicted. Okay, just because something happens randomly doesn't mean it's any less than something that we expect things to happen. And I think that we all need to understand that too. Just because we don't understand the processes that led to a thing to happen doesn't mean that, it's not working in the background. We just don't understand it yet. Or we just can't fathom how sometimes a bouncing ball hits a thing, hits another thing. And then suddenly we have a car accident or something happens. I think we have a hard time understanding the sandbox of life. And we will create computer simulations, life simulations, ragdoll physics and all that, and have fun with it. But, there are so many more variables to be accounted for that we are still discovering or still learning about, or become so negligent, or not negligent, or insignificant in their factor when we're dealing with major physics questions of like kinetic energy transfers and all that. Just just understand that, like, yeah, some things can happen randomly. Sometimes it is based on a system of cause and effects. Okay, sometimes we just don't know what those cause and effects are that are beyond our scope, and it just appears random to us. But sometimes one thing snowballs to another, and suddenly it happens in our lives. I hope that makes sense, to a lot of people, where I'm coming from, where sometimes we just don't account for those factors. That like happens as if like I'm holding the thing here. I'm sorry, but like those factors that we don't understand or don't take into account into our lives, and these things like happen spontaneously. Um, um, right, and the conflict came from us. We have a tendency to not factor ourselves into the equation. We flip the coin. The coin was resting on the desk, but we took it, we flip it. That type of thing. So that's one of the variables that had occurred before, like, it lands on the desk, etc. So, my view is that we have a tendency to. Oh, shoot. It's kind of like fate. This idea of, like, we are to do X, so we're going to make X happen. And because we believe X is going to happen, we do the self-fulfilling prophecy thing where we train ourselves to do the thing. Or at least that's the expectation. And when the thing just doesn't come true, doesn't come to fruition after all of our effort, we have a total change in our philosophy. Usually because of the training, the dedication, the work ethic that we put in, the thing usually does happen. So when I do these luck readings, know that I'm going to be discussing about like how you could carry your own narrative and how you're going to tweak it, at least, what the card says to do, to like tweak that point of view, so that way you could try to gear towards more positive things that are going to go a little bit easier for you because it's in your wheelhouse. It is part of your resources. You could really use it, just don't ignore it when these terrible things happen and occur. You're lucky because you have friends. You are lucky because you're able to communicate or talk with others. You're lucky because you are athletically skilled, and you had been. You were able to keep up with it. Those type of things. Like, that's the kind of luck I'm going to explore in. So, time and time again, I've seen in tarot where, like, the future is never set. We could predict the trend. We could take a snapshot of what happens in this current moment, where the trajectory is in someone's course of life. But it could change after the reading, and it could change from the very person who's asking the questions, because they're receiving the information, and they could decide subconsciously, yes, I'm going to go with it, or no, I don't want to, or let's go ahead and change it to see like how deviant we can be from that path that was given to us, just because, we have that capability, we have that power. So I don't see certain things, or the majority of life, the future, as set in stone. It's not set in stone until it happens in the present. So that's how I'm coming across this and these kind of readings. I know I'm putting like a wet blanket statement on luck. And I know that's totally against the dogma of most people here in the occult community. Yeah, exactly. The present is a gift because we're experiencing it now. The future that we were hoping for finally came. It is here. So, I hate to put that caveat, when it comes to this type of reading, some people get so bent out of shape and think that everything is all set in stone when everything is so fluid and it shifts depending on the factors in our lives. And tarot is not going to set things in stone. Just because we predict certain things that we expect things to occur doesn't mean it's going to, make things happen. Eventually, you're going to have to put in the work. When you dig deep enough into some rabbit holes, you find some things as determinism and its derivatives. I never heard of determinism. I have a really terrible feeling Is determination like fate? Or is it like predicting objects as trying to say, oh, it depends on, I'm going to look that up, but after I put down the description for the personal luck reading. There we go. Okay, so that's up there. That's 200 channel points. It's usually a 4-card spread for personal luck readings if anyone wants to have that. Stating that every effect has a cause and is true even on an atomic level. I bet they get really bent out of shape once they start looking at quantum physics. But yeah, on a physical level, certain things do happen. Especially on a kinetic energy transfer level. Yeah. Which is why I like watching paranormal shows that do debunking, to the best of their abilities, try to debunk. Super determinism. Let me look up determinism. Now, there is a danger of using science as philosophy. There is a danger of using that. I may accidentally be part of that camp. I try not to, but I do have a scientific background. Determinism entails that in a situation which a person makes a certain decision or performs a certain action, it is impossible that they could make any other decision or perform any other action. That's weird. Because anyone could change their mind. In other words, it's never true that people could have decided or acted otherwise than they actually did. They never met a Gemini. Sorry. Okay, there have times in my life where I think I made up my mind to do certain things. And it's usually when I'm really pissed off and I wanted to do it. And then I'll be encouraged by my family, like, don't, please don't do it. You know, just don't. Leave it alone. Leave it be. And eventually, I just don't. You know, even though I was determined to do it, when the thing occurs that I wanted to do it, I guess. I guess they were the ones that caused me not to do it. But there are times where I say one thing that, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do certain things, and then I decided not to when the time comes, you know, and it happens. Like, do you actually follow through with what you were originally determined to do? That's like the variable. That's probably the kink in that philosophy. Do you actually follow through with what you're determined to do? I usually have a tendency to change my mind on a whim. And this is why has a lot of caveats in today's stream, because people can change their minds on a whim. It usually has a cause. You're very analytical if that's the case. Sometimes I change my mind because of a gut feeling. And even though you could say, oh, that's a cause, there's no cause for the gut feeling. Okay. Because that's just instinct, intuition. And that pops up from experience sometimes. And that's even harder to like peel away the layers of intuition. Ads are gonna kick in real soon. That's gonna give me some time to like put my stuff together. But this is definitely not going to be a philosophy debate. I don't have philosophy classes. And I don't believe everything is all... I don't believe in easy answers. I just don't. It's very suspicious when you have an easy answer. I'm a little bit more jaded now than I used to be. And I know like some of the stuff I mentioned seems a little bit hypocritical because I do tarot. You know, how do you explain tarot? And that's going to be a very, very long discussion about that. You're back. Yay. I try my best to keep ads like a minute and a half. Now, this time I did let Twitch determine the frequency. And right now we're kind of like on the same agreements where it's going to be every 30 minutes. You have a minute and a half ad. But that could change like down the road depending on when Twitch thinks that, you know, it's okay to throw ads in. So, just letting you all know, I'm just letting them take the wheel on the adage. I could try to discuss all the quandaries about like my thoughts and like how things happen, but ultimately, it's only based on my personal experience and my personal observations, and that is so anecdotal. Science is all about the scientific method. You have a hypothesis, you set up a way to test it, you collect the data after you try to do the testing, And there's a very specific way you have to test. You have to have controls. And you have to count all the variables. And you try to strip it back, as much as you can. And then once you have the data, you analyze it, and then you try to bring it to a conclusion. And you present it to everyone else and see what they think. And you try again. That's the scientific method. And you can't do that to every single thing because we don't know all the variables that are beyond something that's physical, And it's really hard to have a control for something like that. It's very difficult. I'm just going to bring them all out, just in case. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who does tarot and has a fairly grounded approach when it comes to tarot. Or at least, not agnostic. I'm not agnostic. What's the idea? I guess grounded approach is the best way to describe it. I don't worship these cards. I don't have a religion around these cards. I take certain things with a grain of salt most of the time. Probably because I'm just jaded with life. Okay. So Oh, hi, Goose Town. Hello. Welcome in. Glad to have you here. Let me do a little shout out thingy because you deserve it. It's been ages, my goodness. The last time I was on your stream or something, I heard that you moved, and I hope that it was a very smooth move and everything's going well for you. Oh, you're welcome. We're going to talk about luck and its philosophies and how I'm just not... I am not really as fatalistic as some people will determine me to be. I do believe there are some causes and effects, that lends into certain things that do appear to spontaneously occur. But I do believe that there are some things that do happen randomly. Yeah, this is something I had done last year for St. Patty's Day. And it fell on the weekend again. And by the time that I was going to do this type of St. Patty's Day thing next week, I will be doing some sort of gardening thing with my trees. And I thought, oh, no, we have to do it today. So, let's see. Now I've got to figure out which one is going to do the message of the day. Maybe I should use the Queen Mab deck, because that's very fitting. It is part of the UK-Irish lore. So maybe I should use this deck combined with this. That's what I should do. And let me get my books out here. Now, of course, my philosophy is not your philosophy. If you really do inherently believe in luck and all of its nuances and or like um, wish fulfillment philosophy, or any other philosophies that are adjacent to these things, please, do go with it. I'm just trying to describe how I approach this reading for everyone, so y'all understand my mindset. You're welcome to your own religion and philosophical point of view. I, again, like, this is like my scientific background just kicking in really hard today. There are some certain things that can be explained, but we just haven't discovered the way to explain it yet. And there are some things that do spontaneously occur. Some things do happen to come together randomly as well. That is sometimes a little bit joyful. It's wonderful. Something just happens out of the blue for us. There's a lot of factors that we could discuss how some things can appear to be random before us. But just trying to explain where I'm coming from, and I hope that I'm going to try my best not to lecture. I'm going to try my best not to lecture on people on it, because that's like trying to convert people, of a certain mindset, and that's a bad thing. And I just want to inform you all, not lecture you all, about where I'm coming from all of this. I hope that makes sense, Again, tarot, nothing's really set in stone. Okay. What number do y'all want me to do? I was thinking 4 because of the 4-leaf clover. What do y'all think? I feel like 4. For those who are not used to it today, for this section of the stream, it's going to be message of the day. So if you're not going to be here for the rest of the stream, you're going to be busy for a while, at least these messages will help you out. Hopefully will help you out as we continue on with the stream, and you have other things, so you gotta go and take off. Hopefully they will help you out, regardless. What am I saying? I hope this helps. Oh my god. I hope this message of the day helps you out. So that way you don't have to stay here for the entire stream. There we go. I said the thing. Oh my god. Oh, I love your cute little tarot shuffle deck thing. I love it. That is so cute. Is this yours? It is! It is! It is your emote. It's so cute. It is cute. Okay. And I'm just going to add to each one a little helper. I think what got into the whole cause and effect discussion I had earlier is the people have a tendency to attribute wrong causes to certain effects, like the broken mirror thing, or the walking underneath the ladder you get bad luck kind of thing. It's people attributing wrong causes to certain effects that occur. We have a whole packet that fell down. Okay. And we need one more. So that's why I got into that tangent in the first place, There's a lot of factors for things that occur there afterwards. It has nothing to do with mirrors or black cats or like ladders or anything like that. Okay. No. I hear that all the time when it comes to like Friday the 13th or whatever. Okay, so this card is for everyone. So, no matter which message resonates with you or don't resonate with you, we're going to just read off this one for everyone. Alignment. You can manifest the life you wish to call in. That's very fitting for today. Look at where your desires are being seated. If your plans or dreams aren't unfolding as you would like, take a closer look at other areas in your life. That's what we're going to explore today. Is something out of step with integrity? Are you making decisions through fear or love? If it is through fear or avoidance, your manifestations may seem to backfire to encourage you back into balance. Become a vibrational match for what you desire. Instead of striving harder, cultivate the feeling of already having all you seek. You will be surprised at what this shift in perspective creates. You can make your own luck, because it's all a matter of perspective. You can manifest the life you wish to call in. And if it's not working out the way you thought it is, let's examine other parts in your life. I love this. I love this so much. This really fits with what I'm trying to discuss. Okay. That is the major message of the day. It's going to go right here. I'm going to put it on the fridge. All right. So, as normal, I'm going to go bottom up. Oh, this may be too far over. Let's tilt this down. That resonates. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that resonates with you. Let's look at this card, and we're just going to go with how I put them down. And with each card, I'm going to read the little helper that came along with it. And if that message or any of these messages resonate with you, you're welcome to work with it. Keep it, take it with you. If it doesn't really jive with you, don't force it, Maybe you just don't need to have anything bring to your attention at this time. Okay, let's go here. The Falcon's Flight. Card number 1. Cultivate or claim your mastery. artful mastery is vital to your present moment experience. There are two possibilities here. The first is that you have spent much focus and many long hours mastering a skill of some kind. Spiritual, practical, artistic, emotional, or career related. That will benefit you to draw upon now. The second is that it will bring you great joy, satisfaction, and success to commit wholeheartedly to a particular discipline or practice, to start where you are and begin working toward greater and greater competency and skill. Reflect for a moment and decide which of these two possibilities is most accurate for you now. And I'm going to take a sip. Okay. If you have already achieved a significant degree of mastery in some important area, you will thrive if you put this mastery to good use. Have you fully recognized and acknowledged how hard you've worked and how far you've come? If not, do so now. All your hard work has not been for nothing. While you will likely continue to learn and hone your abilities throughout your lifetime, the fact remains that you succeeded in what you set out to do, which has to become an expert at your chosen craft. So choose now to own and claim your prowess. Wield that prowess with confidence and you bring about the conditions you desire. So that is for the number one set. For the other hand, the second set, if you believe it is time for you to channel your hard work and determination toward a future mastery, what form will that mastery take? Relaxing, playing, experimenting, and enjoying the journey of life are all lovely and important pursuits. But now it is time for you to choose a clear direction and go all in. Once you know what you are committing to, create structure. Decide when you will practice, how often, and what you will do when you practice. Find teachers and mentors you trust. Adopt habits that support your ultimate aim. Look for role models and study those who have walked this path before. How would you like your unique form mastery to look specifically? Of course, it's natural for you to adjust your course as you go. But to get it started, it will be helpful to make a plan that includes your ultimate goal, intermediate goals, a timeline, and also a major practical action steps you will take. Becoming an expert at something, by its very definition, is not easy. It takes time, focus, and diligent effort. But hard-won excellence, proficiency that goes beyond the pale, feels like nothing else on earth. While at times it can admittedly feel like a slog, at other times it can give you a sense of transcendence, as if you are flying, as if you are divine, as if nothing in the world can ever stop you. You are ready. Step on the path to mastery, or be the master you already are. Okay, so that is very tied to the form of luck, in the sense where you make your own luck. You know, it's about mastery of a skill or profession. And that really lines up with kind of like how I view things. I was able to learn how to play the violin proficiently enough to do most Bach concertos, if I so wish. And I was able to achieve it well enough to easily do like some Vivaldi. And I was able to do that from years of learning through my whole childhood, from elementary school all the way through my high school. So by the time I hit college age, I was able to achieve that moment. And that comes from me doing at least 1 hour of practice a day, having a teacher that helped me along the way, and going to like my orchestra classes at school. You know, there's all these moving parts that made it happen. It wasn't a spontaneous thing, it was made through effort, continuous effort, and learning and training to finally get to that point. And I felt satisfied with my life, that I didn't feel the need to like push myself any further. By my own personal definition, I achieved what I wanted, was to be able to play violin well enough to like play Vivaldi, and I was able to, and that was enough for me. And I moved on with other pursuits. Hi, Luna, welcome in. So, when I hear this card, when I think of this card, I think of this and other disciplines in my life. It could be athletic, it could be an instrument, it could even be a profession like being an author, whole 9 yards. If you put in the work, you will get there. And if you already have put in the work, now's the time to show off. Now's the time to put it to good use. So let's look into this card here. Home. Our way home to oneness and the truest part of our infinite selves is to know ourselves beyond the socialized matrix of mind-constructed reality. Sorry. We don't need to hear that in the background. When all sense of flighty survival drops away, a deep sigh radiates from the safe space within, where you can ground dreams into realities. Deep heart-based presence is a direct portal home. Aligned with your temple space, you have dreams, visions, and may yearn for etheric realms. But it is when we are fully present in our bodies that we can actualize ideas and make a difference. Be grounded, find your home. The deeper our roots, the higher we can reach into the heavens. Most of the time, all of my practice, all of my training takes at home. And sometimes my practice happens in the school practice rooms. When I was doing orchestra. Oh, excuse me. Let me go ahead and take a sip of water here. Or tea. Sorry, tea. So, whatever you wish to achieve or want to hone in or cultivate, you can do it in a place that you will call home. If it's not your actual home right now, go ahead and set up a place where you can call it a home, where you can train and hone your craft in peace. So I find that really lines up very well with this card here. Okay, we're going to move on to card number 2. If that doesn't resonate with you from the previous card, let's see if this works with you now. Beauteous freedom. Admit your feelings. Be yourself. Find your path. Beauteous freedom is on the horizon for you. But in some significant way, you're not quite free. Not yet. You have been running from something. A deep pain that you don't want to feel, or haven't had the time or space to feel or to safely feel in the past. Or you have been so focused on succeeding or surviving that you have been ignoring the wild spirit that is absolutely vital to who you are. In some cases, you may be experiencing an addiction. That addiction may have been born out of a desire for freedom, but now it only serves to keep you captivated in its demands. In other cases, you may have been locked down in your creativity, desires, and sense of adventure. You may be limiting your food intake in a harsh manner, judging or denying your sexuality and sexual desires, or refusing to allow yourself any relaxation, playfulness, wildness, or fun. Maybe you have an idea about what it means to be a good person. And that idea does not include your natural irreverence, wanderlust, curiosity, or rebellious spirit. But you need live this way no longer. Now's the time to get honest about how you are perpetuating your own personal imprisonment. Then make the changes that will free you. Sorry, allergies. Okay, there we go. Then make the changes that will free you. Step out of your self-imposed confinement. Question the ideas about what it means to be good or bad. Where do they come from? Are they realistic? And how are they keeping you enslaved? Everyone is mean sometimes. Everyone is greedy, jealous, awkward, and petty. Everyone sometimes feels worried and alone. Everyone occasionally wants something they can't have. And everyone often wants things they can have that won't hurt anyone for them to enjoy. Release all shame about sharing in these universal human experiences. Stop trying to rise above them, ignore them, or use them as reasons to emotionally isolate yourself, elevate yourself, or deny yourself love. Your beauteous freedom is a fundamental part of you and is accessible to you now. Tap into the energy of freedom and allow it to guide you in finding your way back to yourself. I could see this for people who felt like they have to go back to the closet because of what's going on with our administration, trying to hide themselves away out of fear, working really hard to survive because of the dynamic that is happening in our society, choosing fear over love, that kind of situation. And because we're so afraid and hiding ourselves away, and try to hide ourselves away, we have a tendency to neglect ourselves and accept ourselves for who we are. Just because someone else doesn't mean you have to whip yourself or do some sort of self-harm just because they deny you. You're here on this earth for you, not for them. And if they can't handle it, that's on them. You are you. You're here for a reason, whatever that reason is, and you determine the steps that you take in this physical body, in this physical life. And sometimes you need to enjoy life. Sure, there are some basal urges that we feel ashamed of. Okay. We try to be good. Okay. But sometimes society's measures of what is good and what is bad is a bit skewed, and it's probably more skewed now than it ever has been before. Okay. So you take the time to enjoy who you are. Don't worry about what other people think. Dance in the room as if no one's watching, so to speak. Okay, if you want to hook up with someone that people don't approve of, just hook up anyway. Just don't tell them. They don't need to know. You only need to know. So go out there, go to the club, dance, have fun, enjoy yourselves. And even though you're trying your best to survive and working hard, take a break. Do something. Do something for yourself. Okay, Portal Keeper. Portals are gateways to other layers of reality. They can be accessed through inner practices or externally in places such as the planet's vortices. Gently explore the edges of your existence. Spend time listening in the forest. Deepen your meditation practice. Dance yourself into ecstasy. Explore psychic tools and study new healing modalities. If you feel lacking in purpose or life seems a little too mundane, remember there is never a reason to be bored. What we experience with our physical senses is just the tip of the iceberg. Magic exists where you care to find it. Look between the lines to limitless discovery. Feel yourself alive is the message of the card. If it's dull where you are, liven it up. Be alive. Feel alive. Take it to the edge if you need to. We're going to have ads here real soon. And by that, it's a really good stopping point while I wait for ads to, get over it. Oh, yeah. Naruto. For some reason, I never really got into Naruto. But I did love Demon Hunter. I need to finish it. I haven't finished the whole thing, but I really love Demon Hunter. Or Demon Slayer. It kind of has the same vibe as Naruto, personally. There's so many good songs that came out of Demon Slayer, and it's this is kind of the whole playlist that I have right here is the kind of like my anime playlist. It's got Aimer, it's got Calafina, and it's got ads. Stop it. It's bad enough we have ads here on Twitch. I took some Flonase to take care of my allergies, and it helped quite a bit. But, spring has been so strong with its pollen. It's affecting my sister really badly. And I don't know why, but she's just in this mindset of toughing things out. I just can't do that anymore. I have to have my medicine. Otherwise, I won't be able to talk to you guys. And I already feel my throat being so scratchy. And I may just have to switch things up for my Flonase. Yay! Welcome back everyone from the ads. So we did cards number 1 and number 2. Now we're going to go for card number 3. And this is A Dream of Love. Okay. Oh, there it is. Be mindful of both truth and illusion. There is no love so complete, so idyllic, as a love for someone largely unknown. When your time with someone dear to you has been limited or brief, you can readily perceive within them every fair and noble quality. If you love a stranger or someone you know only minimally, geez, the music is so intense. There we go. It can appear that this person is made of pure magic. They bring joy and delight to your soul. You feel intoxicated when you so much as picture their face. You may feel, consequently, become infatuated or obsessed. There are two sides to this. One is truth, the other is illusion. In truth, we are all infinite, angelic, God and goddess-like creatures. We are beautiful, we are brave, we are thoughtful, we are clever, we are shards of a divine and radiant mirror, possessed of every shade and sparkle of the spectrum of the sacred. The illusion is what obscures the other truth, that we are none of us perfect, or that we are none of us perfect. Most of us are far from it. While all the light is within us, it does not all have the privilege of shining. Some of the lanterns are broken. Some of the stars are obstructed by clouds. Some of the candles have been extinguished by rain, and others have been blown out in the wind. And yet, when you see the perfection in another, or when someone else sees it in you, miracles often happen. More light shines, more lanterns are lit, more stars are visible, more candles are illuminated. Seeing the truth of one's perfection helps that truth to spark, radiate, and ignite. On the other hand, with time, relationships progress. If a relationship moves past the idealization stage and changes into something else, something less delirium-inducing but more sustainable, less sugary, but more sweet. You might say that when one's imperfections become visible, the romantic whirlwind slows. In the most desirable scenarios, it becomes a gentle, nourishing breeze. But sometimes, relationships do not substantially progress past the idealization stage. When the mask of perfection falls away, one or both partners may not like what they find underneath. Or at times, there is no real partnership, so there is never an opportunity to remove the mask at all. Still, other times or at other points along the path, a relationship may still have much to offer, but one or both partners become temporarily disenchanted and looks elsewhere for that luscious bliss that follows in a new love's wake. There can be a great danger here of trading in a great and venerable love for a flashing and fleeting new one. Here, there is truth, and there is also illusion. If you are wise enough to perceive both at once, you will hold all the wisdom you need. Okay. So, really talking about the honeymoon effect. Sometimes, the honeymoon effect help us really connect with someone and bring about the, or at least we love the best parts that we happen to see. But there does come a time where that does break. The honeymoon phase is over and we start looking things without the rosy shades. And that could be a person, that could also be a situation as well. And ultimately, you have to make a decision whether you want to go along with that particular relationship or not. And surprisingly, we also have this card that goes along with it. Furred and feathered friends. Animals are intuitive, sacred beings and wisdom keepers in many earth traditions. They are some of the most loving companions that have much to teach us. Yet, the treatment of some species is appalling. As our empathy expands, we see other beings and the quality of their lives is interconnected and equal to our own. We may be inspired to align our actions with our compassion to minimize the harm we do to the planet and her inhabitants. This card also signifies energetic bonds. You may have a greater awareness of the wisdom of the animals you encounter and their meaning for you. So, what I'm taking with this, it could be puppy love, first love, youthful love, love that happens, to people who haven't had a lot of experience in the romantic field, falling in love for the first time and it's really gripped by it. There's nothing really wrong experiencing that. Just be aware of when, the rosy shades come off, you start seeing the person being more complex than what you had originally perceived them. Give them the grace and measure for them to be fallible. And see if that faults and edges of their personality really do work and coincide with your faults and edges as well. Another way could be like trusting your animal's guts, about a person. If you are like so enamored by that person, but your animal reacts to how they react or how they treat animals, it could be an indication of how they are as a person. You could really use animals as a gauge about like the person and how they are. If they're willing to mistreat animals, they're probably going to mistreat you. And that has been backed up by loads of evidence in the field. So, another third thing, it could be, taking in a shelter animal, an animal that, most other people tend to like look over, would never, adopt this pet because of XYZ, but you really are enamored with this pet and you take it home. And a whole host of things pop up. It's probably best to like own up to like taking care of this animal despite all the issues that may happen. It could be an elderly pet that has a lot of, health concerns that you got to take care of. So as you are adopting shelter animals, do take their health into account. Don't be too surprised when it does happen. You're their owner now. Make sure you have some room in your account so that way you could get them all updated. Most shelters do take care of their vaccines. Do make sure they are fed. Do make sure they have the minimal care that is required. But there could also be other complications they may not have considered. Or it could be like training. This animal have been hurt or like distrust humans in some form or regard, and there could be like some training or like empathy that needs to happen as you're trying to connect with this animal, and trying to let it live a normal day-to-day life with you, stuff like that. So that's what I think. Those are all possibilities. There could be more possibilities with this card reading here, but those are the top big three that I could think of. Doesn't always have to be an animal. It could be a person or a situation. You could always look to animals as a inspiration, as always, to like help you come to a decision or like inspire you as you like contemplate on things when it comes to a situation similar to this. Okay, so sorry I took so long on that reading. I have worked with animals in the past, and I just want to like cover that as thoroughly as I can. Last but not least, 35 Everlasting farewell. Okay, so this is going to get a little bit deep. This could be triggering for some people, so if you want to walk for a bit, that's totally fine. I'll let you all know that we are done, and I probably will do this bit to like let you all know when we're done with this reading. This is about saying goodbye to people or situations. 35. Everlasting farewell. Say goodbye. There we go. Why is autumn so radiant and its light so golden? Is it the season at the summer's end? Oh, I'm sorry. It is the season at the summer's end. It is a glowing goodbye to yet another happy spell of sunlight, growth, life, and warmth. Its fleeting nature reminds us of the passing beauty of this life and the ephemeral nature of all the pleasures it contains. Something is now passing out of your life permanently. A friendship, a past endeavor, or a dream, or a cherished chapter of your life. Faced with the ending of something, you can often see how divine and lovely it always was. Both past and present take on a luminous quality. If you are noticing that quality now, let it open your heart. Bravely feel the sweetness and the sadness of moving away from something special you have experienced and loved. It can be difficult to say goodbye forever, but that is what you are doing now, or what you must do. If you are ending a romantic relationship or a friendship that isn't right for you, you must truly end it. This is not a time to desperately cling to an ideal you know in your heart is no longer possible or never was. We cannot tell our emotions what to do, so love or rage at this person as you must, but be willing to let them go, and then follow through. If someone is ending a relationship with you, respect their wishes to do so. Let go, grieve, feel the fullness of the pain that is there, but be willing to bid a grand and final adieu. You do not need this person or this relationship. You will be fine without them. In time, in fact, you will certainly prosper and thrive. If a loved one is passing out of the material realm of humans into the ethereal realm of the spirits, you are indeed saying goodbye to the human form forever, but you're not saying goodbye to their eternal essence. That, like love, can never dissolve or die. Grief will be present, of course. Always, always breathe into the pain. Let it blossom like a rose within you. Trying to avoid pain or shrink away from it is not brave but cowardly, and it will only cause you to suffer more. But all the while, remember that you will never be bereft of this person's essence. Their body was finite, but the love and laughter you have shared is indestructible. It is beyond time and space. It abides without end. So wave and blow kisses to the temporary form that is now passing away. Let the pain be as bracing fall wind, chilly but invigorating, a breeze that inevitably blows into life, and treasure the love that remains. Okay. I think that's pretty self-succinct. Let me go ahead and read this card. I'm not going to put my hands up anytime soon, just in case. Beyond the mind. The mind moves us through the logistics of life so we can function in the world. However, endless mental chatter, self-doubt, limiting stories, and subconscious programs can keep us in our suffering. Step outside mind-based limitations. Looking at things in an overly logical way will hinder you and obstruct access to your superpowers. The past may be running you and making your mind spin, so you cannot see what is really in front of you. Consider what your heart and your gut are telling you. What would the situation at hand feel like if you release all fears and worries? Are these concerns even yours? Okay. So I think this is about hanging on to someone or a situation that is meant to be let go. Like a ending friendship or a relationship, or like a situation that has become toxic, if you will. And you have this mentality or narrative where you create excuses where you need to be with this person or with this situation that is meant to be, moved along. That no longer really serves you, or like it has ended and for some reason you're not able to grasp that it has ended. So with this card, at the very least, it's granting you permission to examine it. Don't look at things in a very logical way, because that's where some of the excuses lie. Look into your heart and gut. If you are not clinging to fear, if you're not clinging to this worry, or you're not clinging to this guilt, do you really need this situation or person? Are you just lying to yourself because you're afraid to counter the truth that you've been running from? Hi, Binky. So that's the kind of goodbye I think this card is talking about. This goodbye of, oh, hi, Binky. Of saying goodbye to a situation that has been done. That is over. And you're just still like clinging onto it as if like you need to have it. So just take some time to examine it and see if it's really out of fear or not. And why do you feel like you need it so much? Oh, thank you for the redeem. I'll go ahead and do that as soon as possible. Well, I hope the message of the day is helpful for those who need to hear it. And if y'all have to take off and do other things, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to continue on the stream about personal readings and like any luck readings if y'all need any luck readings. And I'll do that one pretty soon. And I'll go ahead and work on yours, Binky, after I put some of the cards away. Welcome in. Glad to have you here. Is there any particular questions you would like to ask before I dive into this reading for you? Oh, okay. Yep. We'll see what happens and what this picks up. be cut. It's a little messy. Let me see if I could shuffle a little bit more. That was a huge clap. I'm sorry, Evil One. These cards are really stiff. Yep. Okay, we'll go with it. Okay, so the general situation, any obstacles, and the advice. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me go ahead and check a few things. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. There we go. I thank you so much for your patience as I go through this. Okay. And anything else? There it is. Oh, okay. So, what this is picking up is the person is very busy with either work or school or whatever it is that they're doing, whether it's career wise or education wise or school wise. They're busy. And with the sun in reverse here, it's just this feeling of, feeling like you're left behind, not being seen because they were just so, nose to the grindstone kind of situation. That type of thing. It's this feeling of not being able to communicate face to face. That type of situation. And it's all virtual. Sorry to say that they're going to be really busy still. Whatever it is that they are pursuing, it's taking up all of their time and effort. And That's their primary focus at this time. So, let me see if there's any good advice I could give. Because it's like dealing with a partner that has a lot of success, okay? Has a lot of success, and you may have supported them to achieve that type of level of success. And now they finally have it. You know, they're working so hard with that training, and you kind of felt, you know, a little bit out of the loop with what's going on. And it's about trying to come back to that moon card where you have to assess the relationship and time and resources in dealing with such a achieved life, if you will. And how does that fit with your life? And whether it is a good balance between the two of you. And it's understandable that there's a level of anxiety that comes from, oh, now they're successful, I'm done for, because this is the only thing they have in their focus and right now. I'm sure that when they do have the time, they can make it to where they could still connect and hang out with you. Right. So it is picking up on that busyness. Ultimately, the ball is in his court to carve out that time to be with you. And right now, it's just not really possible with this card here. Let me examine the Ten of Pentacles. Ooh, ads are happening right now. So just in case you're dealing with ads, which you're a Prime member, I'm not sure you're seeing ads. Let me go back to the Pentacles here. Okay. Okay, welcome back. I hope you're back from ads. Let me look up the Nine of Pentacles here. Okay. In order for them to reconnect, have time with you, they will have to restructure their life where they don't have to work themselves to the bone. That's the healthy way to approach this. If they are working like several jobs, or their job is so taxing and so demanding, they may have to examine how it's affecting their life and whether they want to pare that back, you know, pare back the intense workload, or at least, you know, find a way to like de-stress or not always be work all the time, and that is something he has to do. You know, you can mention it, you can encourage it, but that is something he will have to do in order to create some time for you. Usually it's people who have like 3 or 2 jobs that are like taking up the majority of the time. Usually it's about examining work and life balance relationships. You know, how do you balance work life with, you know, domestic life? That type of situation. Is the work life consuming everything where you have no energy whatsoever at the end of the week? Where you don't even do anything for the weekend except for recuperation. And it's possible that, you know, he may have to examine whether he wants to continue doing it at this level and at this pace, or if he wants to make some adjustments. Right now, with the situation at hand, he may not, because the news is just cranking out information every so many hours. The news cycle and the media cycle is so frequent now, it may not happen anytime soon. So the fix is going to be on his end, not really on your end. At least now you're aware of the situation. It's not because they don't like you. Okay, this sun card here, you're just feeling blue, very insecure, and a little bit fearful that you have been lost and forgotten. I don't think they have forgotten you. Okay, it's just they're so cross-eyed with what's going on that they're exhausted. If that makes sense. And ultimately, they have to figure out a healthier means of work-life balance where they can enjoy the fruits of their labor while doing labor, you know. Because there is a level of anxiety that you have supported this person, they were able to achieve these great things, and now you feel like, what am I, chopped liver? You know, you feel lost and forgotten, ignored, you know. And I don't think here you're being ignored, even though that anxiety is there. I think it's just, they're just so freaking busy. And it's done in a manner where it's consuming most of their time. So it's up to you whether you want to stick it out for them and wait for them to finally realize, you know, like start, you know, working this out. Or you could cut your losses and go elsewhere. I leave that entirely up to you. I'm personally of the mindset that, you know, try your best to work things out, always communicate, you know. I believe communication is always key in relationships, you know, even if it's like a virtual one, you know. Just like understand where he's coming from. There may be like a situation, probably because of what's going on in this administration, where he's not allowed to take breaks or not allowed to take things easy, you know. And I don't know how long that's going to be. I hope that helps. I hope that helps illuminate the situation. I don't think it's about you. I don't think there's any hate. Okay. Okay, you're very much welcome. And I'm so sorry that you just kind of feel that way. And I'm so sorry that, you know, they are so consumed by this. And I don't think it's really their fault. All right. And thank you so much for the redeem. Yeah, I'm sure eventually something is going to give with the way things are heading. Okay, a lot of people are not all too happy about the current situation from like different factors of industries and different parts of life. Um, and something's going to give somewhere. Um, so hopefully something's going to happen where like things just lighten up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead, go take a little break. I hope y'all don't mind. And then I'll come back. If y'all want to do personal readings, go ahead and request them in the channel points. If there are no personal reading requests when I'm back, I will go ahead and dive into the more astrological groups and Lux based on those signs. Luna Wisp, thank you so much for following. And I'll be back soon. I just gotta go. I just gotta go. So I'll be back soon. Hello. I'm gonna go ahead and put my ears back on. Do you want to say hi to the stream? We had a special guest. Oh. Oop, okay, you don't want the shoulder. Alright. You want to come up here and say hi? You're welcome to walk up here. My goodness, you are messy. I need to clean this house. She loves to roll on the rug. This is Blondie for anyone who's new. It's probably hard to see her. Nope, she's hidden by my camera. Why don't you get up here? Come on. Get up here. Get out on the desk so people can see you. Come on. No? Okay. You only see her little tail. Usually she doesn't mind me holding her on my shoulder and cradling her and hugging her and all that stuff, but she's been so bothered by the fiddlehead leaf plants falling over. We have the windows open and it got hit by a gust of wind and it just toppled. And normally I will have that plant moved, but someone had opened the window and didn't move it, and I didn't know, so whoopsie. And she's been really on edge ever since. So maybe I could like show her to you guys. There you go. Oh. Okay, there she is. There's the kitty. There's the baby. Also, we have some lovely bird chirping right now. Hopefully you could hear it. It's really faint. That little chirp. Oh shoot, I downloaded that app to register bird songs in my area and I forgot to do it. It's the whole annual thing that Cornell University always asks people to do, and I always forget. And let me see. Yeah, there we go. Let me see if there's any request before I move on to the group readings. Again, if y'all want personal readings while I do the group readings, please go ahead and do so. I know a lot of people want to have help and want to have help as soon as possible. But, you know, don't be afraid to like interrupt me, you know, when I do a group reading. Some people do care about that. I really don't. I don't mind stopping in between to like do a personal reading. I'm pretty good at my time management on stream, where I know when I could like pivot things to like finish up group readings if I really need to. So if y'all need to ask, don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to ask. You don't have to leave the stream if you need help. There's a whole slew of channel points on here where you can use them to for any sort of readings that you need. More than happy to like help out if you request any of those. And there are like 100 channel points per card. You know, most of the questions can be resolved by like 3 cards or less. There you go. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye-bye. I guess she's trying to track that bird. So that's why they're priced, or not priced, they're set in that manner. China points are not money. Okay. I guess it's just easier if I do it this way. Nope, you won't be able to see. This is my old tarot book slash writing book slash everything book. The way I do journals, whatever thought I need to put down that I don't want on sticky notes, I just throw it in the book, whether it pertains to my writing or whatnot. I got to a point where my own personal notes for like anything I do that's for like anything like pertaining to makeup or fashion or whatever I want to like keep in mind, or like any sort of journaling, which I only did it at the very beginning of this book, but like I never kept up with it. It goes into this journal now, but everything else I have like work journals or like tarot journals or whatever it is. So I'm trying my best to organize myself. It's a mess. So the way I'm doing this, it's going to be like 4 cards. It's like shaped as a clover. We're going to look at what kind of luck you have, how to improve it, what opportunities you should be aware of that might occur, and where to spread the wealth. You know, spread the wealth of this luck or this resource that you have. It's kind of like the pot of gold kind of situation. Since we're still in Pisces season, water signs are going to go first. So water signs is Capricorn, or not Capricorn, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. You could use your sun sign, or you could use your moon or your ascendant. If you are really well versed in the astrology chart, you might have known your major elemental predominance. So you could use that as well. But we are going to examine Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio for this reading. So what kind of luck do you have? Yep. That did not shuffle. That was just moving one step to another. Okay, so it's this, for sure. Okay. Okay. The luck that you have, water signs, Ace of Wands, how to improve it, Six of Pentacles upside down, where to look out for opportunity-wise, King of Pentacles upside down, and last but not least, how to spread the wealth of luck. I think this is accepting help when you need to accept it. Okay. So I just got to figure out these two. Oh. I thought I was done with this, and I was wrong. Okay, I think it will make sense once I look at the Queen of Wands. Okay. So, water signs, the type of luck that you have is any new creative endeavors that you wish to initiate, or at least creating any new creative projects. That is kind of where your success usually lies. You don't have a hard time compared to anyone else in the other groups and getting creative, that type of well of emotion that's within you kind of lends hand in hand with the arts, or lends hand to hand with anything that you dream of. You are able to express it and put it down on paper. It could be like something as creative like literal art, or it could be like baking or dressmaking or any other field that requires you to make something out of nothing. And starting those kind of projects or kind of businesses or opportunities, that's kind of where your luck lies. It's something that comes very easily for you, water signs. The improvement that you need to look for is accepting help when you need it, or at least accepting the help that is given to you and dealing with the terms and limitations of that help. It's kind of like double-edged sword here, and I'm going to like really analyze this after the ads. Um, One side of the Six of Pentacles upside down is not accepting charity, like absolute refusal. And the other hand is you had accepted this help, but it comes with a fine print. So we could examine those once the ads are over. Oh, I thought I had more tea. I thought I had more tea, and I don't. I'm sad now. So, starting off really strong for like water signs here. Really positive. I'm gonna really look at the King of Pentacles here. Okay. I think I know where it's coming from. Now I think about it. Oh, I think that's her. I think that's her wanting to come in. Hi. Do you want to be in here? Okay, hi. I know. Goodness, what are you getting into that makes you so dusty? What are you getting into? Why are you so dusty? Girl, you make me worry. I love you. She's a dusty old cat. Welcome back, everyone, from the ads. Do you want to go out? Are you wanting out now? Okay. Alrighty, so just to recap, in case ads kind of disrupted the message. Water signs, you're really good in starting new opportunities that requires any sort of creative endeavor. It could literally be like art. It could also be like art adjacent professions like baking or like sewing or anything that is, it doesn't have to be domestic, but it has to be like, it could be graphic design, anything that requires you making something out of nothing. That flows very easily for you. Coming up with something that requires some creative thought, a creative process that really delves into the emotional state. That is very easy for you to conjure up. The improvement is dealing with two sides of the coin, depending on how you are with people. One is accepting charity when given. The other is you do accept charity when given, but there's a fine print, and we have a tendency to not seeing the fine print. So the first is, kind of a call out to yourself, something about like dealing with some innate, hiccups and trusting others, or like a sense of pride, like I don't want help from anyone else. I could do this on my own, that type of thing. Not wanting to accept help from others, that type of thing. So you can improve on that by learning to accept help, because not all professions are a man on an island kind of situation. all parts in order to get things like mass produced, published, have a business. You know, bakeries have people in them. You know, you're not the only baker. You know, it may start out that way, but eventually it will grow where, you know, you're going to have helpers and you're going to have to pay them. And that helps you not like pull hair out of your head while you're trying to, you know, do something that is from scratch, you know, and have it thriving. You know, that type of thing. Accepting it when it's given. And that's hard because we felt like we have to do this all on our own. We have learned to do things on our own. Though the caveat is that we forget that we didn't come up with this on our own. You know, there is someone who taught this to you. There was someone who taught how to do certain things to you. It could be through a book. It could be through a YouTube video. It doesn't have to be traditional, but someone somewhere put that knowledge into your brain. You didn't necessarily have to learn all of it by experience it. You do learn from experience. Don't get me wrong. Okay, that's how you're able to do the training and the work and the practice. Okay, but someone taught you this type of stuff. You know, someone went out of their way in their time, or maybe it's part of their profession in the first place, to create a book or create a YouTube video or like have, you know, a teaching class, you know, that pays them to give you this information that you took. Okay. So if you're willing to have that kind of help, why are you not accepting other types? So that is something you can improve. Water signs, you know, Scorpios, Cancers, and Pisces. That's one thing. Another thing is accepting help that's on a collaborative level and understand the give and takes in that collaboration. This is where the caveat, the fine print, legal stuff, you know, that type of thing. You know, the strings attached kind of part of the Six of Pentacles when it's in reverse. You do have some give and take. And when it comes to making it like a business, there's legalities, especially when you're dealing with other people. If you have a bakery and you have people that are helping you put this together, you know, suddenly you are a boss and they're your employees and you have to pay them. So that's one thing to consider. Another thing is the publishing world. You know, as someone who's an author, there's a lot of misinformation that comes from the general populace because they are not very nuanced with what happens in the traditional publishing sector, or like the nuances of like a indie person hooking up with Amazon as their publisher, you know, or hooking up with distributors or finding a freelance editor. You know, you have to look at the fine print. You have to make sure, you know, you are abiding those terms, play along to work along to get this thing going. You're paying this editor for their services, and sometimes, you know, it stinks when they said, hey, you got to fix this, you know, and you can't just scream at them marching into a room and pout, you know, that type of thing. You know, they're a person, they did the job that you asked them to do. You had to be professional, respectful. And there are some really new writers who are not used to hearing professional critiques on their work, because it does require to be massaged and worked upon in order to make it the best that there is. You know, it requires proving. If we're going to use the baking analogy, it needs to be proved before it gets baked. So the improvement there on that side is learning how to work with others, learning how to do some give and take, learning to manage one's expectations and try not to emotionally go from 0 to 10 when things go awry or things didn't meet your expectations. No one is out to get you. There are some considerations and terms that you have to think on, that makes everything fair for everyone involved. And it's not like they don't want to, but they are obligated to help you. But that obligation, has incentives. And sometimes that incentive for like a freelance editor or like the person working in your bakery is payment, and making sure that you are willing to pay them when the bill comes due. So that's on the flip side of the Six of Pentacles. That's help with a caveat. They are obligated to help you because it's part of their job. Respect given is respect due type of thing. So just think on it. Water signs. Eventually you will get to a point with your creative endeavors that you will be dealing with people or handling with people, and that is something you could work and improve on. How you react, how you dictate things, what you put down there. A third thing is, the tendency to not pay attention to those things at all. Okay, I'm not saying that there are people who are ignoring to pay people. I'm just saying that, there's a tendency to think that, oh, it's just art. I'm not doing it for money, so why are you asking for money? It's that disconnect that occurs. There may be other conceptions, maybe nothing to do with payment, but dealing with, the level or like the focus of their work, where they're helping you, to what extent they're going to help you with, given time and money. It could be like a workshop situation. There's only 1 hour. They're willing to do the work with you, but you're in a group setting. This is not a one-to-one type of thing. So it has a tendency of not understanding the situation because it's very idealized. And it all comes from not experiencing it on a normal level. It's just curb your expectations, Don't be so idealized that you become disconnect and accidentally turn away the help that has been given to you. So think on it. It could be, if you want to improve this creative endeavor, it could be looking at workshops, looking at editors, people who do have services. And you have to be willing to pay for those services or show up for those services in order to prove this. So that's another thing too. Okay, moving on, the King of Pentacles. Opportunities you could be made aware of or where to focus on to have spontaneous opportunities to occur. The King of Pentacles in reverse. This is someone who is not the type of person who waits. Okay. There should be the type of person who waits. Should be the person who makes long-term investments. Okay, someone who should be managing their finances. This is not about you. This is your customer. But this person wants to spend all their money on really cool stuff because the stuff is just really cool. Okay, and they're willing to throw the money down to make things happen. So the opportunity you could focus on is this kind of customer who does have this wealth of money, but instead of investing it in 401ks or the stock market, or like any other practical means of investment that is very traditional, ho-hum, mundane, dull, whatever, that decide to like spend their time and money on something that is really cool. And they're willing to be your patron for you if you have something really cool that like really grabs their attention. They really love it, they're enthusiastic about it, and they're willing to buy it. The idea that usually comes up with a King of Pentacles upside down is someone who's already retired, has this wealth of money, and they're using that wealth of money to have fun. You know, things that are pretty impractical, like a souped up, sporty car, a Super Soaker 9000, crafted by someone who really knows how to make Super Soakers, create a bouncy castle, or like have a bouncy castle, bouncy castle rentals are like not cheap, stuff like that. So if you want more opportunities for like your creativities or your endeavors, go with this understanding that, someone out there is going to have the money and the means to purchase what you put forth in this world. Okay? You're not going for someone who is scraping and making by. You're not making something that's practical. Okay? So don't worry about, oh no, it's not practical. Sometimes something really cool and something really nice, a treat, is enjoyable in this life, is worth it. And it's worth the price that you put. Like how many people have drove by, the Krispy Kremes and thought, I deserve a donut today. And just go and get a donut. And it's not just any donuts, it's a really cool looking donut that like is popular for the season. Like turkey donuts, has a little turkey print on it. And it's just fun, it's cute, it's silly, and it just brings a little bit laughter and joy for everyone else. It doesn't have to be practical in order to sell. And I think that is the opportunity that you can focus on for you water signs. Don't worry about whether your audience or your target people could afford it. They will spend money if it brings them joy. Okay? If it makes them feel fun, makes them happy. And if it makes them happy, they are willing to pay the price for that joy in their lives. I mean, look at movies, look at books, look at comic books. They bring joy. They'll help us, take a break from real life for a little while, maybe like an hour, and we feel good enough to like deal with the hardships of life. So that is something that you should take as inspiration and just kind of remind yourself as you craft this, that someone out there is going to want it and are willing to pay for it. How to spread the wealth. Queen of Wands. Oh yes, courage. Queen of Wands didn't make it to her throne without, conquering over her obstacles, without having some form of courage. She has gone through so much. This is grit. Having the grit and courage to overcome all the trials and hardships of life. She fought her way to get here. No different than the King of Wands, okay? A very adventurous person who is willing to take on the spontaneity of life. That's how she's able to get to where she is. You can spread this wealth of this luck, of the creative pursuit that you are able to initiate and engage in by one, being courageous, overcoming your inner demons, being willing to do your craft despite everything else that's going on right now. And fight for what you believe in is, good, something that is worthy of making. Even if it's just a silly, happy, fluffy toy, and you want to sell this silly, fluffy, happy toy, it's worth it. We need a little bit of happiness in this life. And all the hardships and tribulations that come into this, for instance, this toy industry or like baking industry, trying to create a business out of it, etc., you're going to have to be brave in order to fight for something to like bring into this world and like be able to like make a profit off of it, or not make a profit off of it, but like to show it and keep it and like continue making it, continue making new things, or other new creative endeavors that like catches your fancy. Continue to show up and do it. And also spread it by joy. This is someone who enjoys life. Someone who's able to go out, enjoy the nature of the world, hiking, any sort of travel that she wants to do, she goes and do it. This is a very like Sagittarian kind of energy. Go forth and do things kind of thing. Spontaneity. If the mood strikes you to like do this art, whatever it is, wherever you are, it's okay to like engage with it in some small way, whether it's like journaling it or like putting it down on a piece of paper, wherever you are, just so you can work on it later if the mood strikes you. You strike the iron when it's hot kind of situation. There's nothing wrong with that little spontaneity too. She's also a person of creative willpower, and that comes from not necessarily discipline, but just the tenacity of doing the thing. And having that inner knowing that I got this, that confidence, that courage that comes along with it. So it's not really like an improvement per se, but this is how you could spread it. This joy of making the thing. It is contagious joy. And if you enjoy making it, I'm sure other people will enjoy working with you or working on the thing, and everyone else will enjoy seeing the thing or like playing with it or like reading it or like whatever you want to do. If you love doing it, others will love it too. And it does show up in your work, and it doesn't have to necessarily just be joy, but if it like moves you, that you're willing to fight for, it's worth it. So I wish you all the best, water signs. You tend to be very creative people, working with that type of fire in your bellies. And I think it's really cool with what you are working on. I think it's worth it. I really do. Okay. If anyone wants a personal reading, it's okay to like put it in before I start with the rest of the group readings. You could ask a personal reading through the channel point system. If you want a personal like luck reading, that's 200 channel points. You're more than welcome to ask anytime. I'm going to check up on here real quick. See if there's anything that I need to be aware of. Okay, there's a lot of things that come up on my notifications. right, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and move on to fire signs. That would be next. But again, if y'all need any personal readings, go ahead and redeem them. You're not interrupting me. It's totally okay. I only have a couple of hours anyway, and I don't mind doing that for you. Hi, Shrimp Steel. Welcome in. Alright. Oh, I'm good. I'm really good. Oh, that keeps happening. No. You know, I probably would feel better if I just do this. There we go. Cozy? It's a little bit messy. Fire signs are Aries, Sagittarius. Who else? Leo. I'm sorry, Leos. Forgive me. Leos, Aries, Sagittarius. You could use your moon, sun, ascendant, or elemental preponderance if you want to go by that route. Hopefully this works out. We're examining luck today, shrimps. What is the luck that you do have that you have been ignoring? How to improve upon it? You know, what opportunities to look out for? And like how to spread the wealth. It's kind of like a St. Patty's stream today. I have a very complex view on luck. I personally think that luck comes from within you, and it's not set in stone. I think we have a tendency to really focus on things that we get a little bit blindsided when something spontaneous happens in our lives. Okay. Okay, so it's definitely this. Okay. There we go. I made sure I didn't make a mess. Yay. So this is the kind of luck you have. Fire signs, 4 cups in reverse. Ace of Cups in reverse for how to improve on it. Opportunities. Page of Cups. How to spread the wealth through the King of Wands upside down. Okay. I think it's not resting. Oh, ads may kick in pretty soon. Okay. Okay, so how do we deal with blockages? Oh, it is. I'm so glad. I'm using my anime playlist on Pandora. I was kind of getting tired of the kind of like the grittiness of Spotify, even though it is like up to date, new, etc., and you could like replay songs to no end. Um, I kind of want something that's a little bit more upbeat, and I was able to select some stations that kind of tap into that upbeat kind of mentality, or at least have like a certain, epicness that I just really love. I'm going to take some time to like look at these here real quick before we move on with this reading. Yeah. I mean, there are like limitations to Pandora, like you can't really repeat stations unless you hop on their subscription. And their subscription's not that huge, compared to like Spotify. But if I have to pinch my pennies, I can't have like a lot of subscriptions under my belt. Not pelt. Belt. Ah. Oh, okay, making connections one to one. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. Okay, I get it. Alright, fire signs. You do have luck in the sense where you have. Once you understand a situation, you get up and go and take care of it. That kind of thing. You don't really sit around and contemplate and mull it over. The Four of Cups, it's about like mull things over as you wait. And it has a very apathetic kind of point of view when it's upside up. With it being in reverse, you don't have that kind of issue. When you already made a decision, you go and take care of it. That kind of thing. Especially when it's a situation that requires a level of compassion, fire signs. That if someone is in distress, you go and help that person in distress. You don't really mull it over. You understand the situation, or if you don't, you ask questions, you like figure things out, and then you go off and you like take care of it. So that is the kind of luck you have, fire signs. That level of compassion, or at least that empathy, that allows you to get up and go and do it. This could be like charity. This could be like reaching out and helping a friend, that kind of thing. You don't really mull things over because you're able to like assess it very well. Ace of Cups upside down is how to improve it. The improvement is just dealing with blockages. If you happen to work on anything that is relatively creative, or like you're dealing with work and you have a blockage, you have a tendency to just drop it. Which is kind of like touching this here. You know, here with the King of Wands, you're dealing with like impatientness, which ironically is kind of like in the whole spread of the wealth thing, but I'll get to this as soon as I can. When the tough gets tough, you have a tendency to go, I don't want to play with it anymore. I want to go off and do the easy thing. Which is understandable when it's just fun and games. Okay. But you do need to learn how to push through something that is a little bit tough, especially like creative blockages. You know, it could be working on any sort of creative project that requires some measure of, not grit, you had to come up with something new. No one else has done it before. Something new that is your signature mark on it. It could be like a retelling, okay? But like, you have your own spin on it. And it's just a matter of trying to get through those blockages to get that creative spin on whatever it is you're working on. You know, that's the kind of blockages that usually pops up. And sometimes it's kind of hard to push through those blockages because it requires you to like either take a break, think on it some more, and then like coming back into it. You like it when things progress for you because it keeps you mentally engaged at the moment. And the moment that it doesn't keep you mentally engaged, you look for something else that grabs your attention. Not necessarily in ADHD kind of way, but it's very adjacent to that mentality. Where if it doesn't grab your attention, it's just going to sit there. Because you hit that plateau where things just kind of had friction. And most other creative people will like take a small break to come back to it. You have a tendency to take a break and then like, ooh, shiny, and went for it. That kind of thing. You know, because it's not like you don't have grit. You do, which is the whole point of like you fire signs, you're able to push through a lot of things. Okay. You do love challenges, that's why you do it. But the grit is about like keeping the momentum, which is kind of like what the spread of the wealth card here with the upside down King of Wands situation is talking about. The ability to have the discipline that once you started a project, once you get things going, you know, even if it's not a creative project, once you get things going, it's just the second step and the third step. And all the other steps that goes along afterwards is just showing up to work, showing up to do the thing, coming back to it when you put it down. There's nothing wrong in not sitting around and like doing action. Okay, that's probably the best thing for you in a way, but just the coming back and returning to it, you know, these kind of go hand in hand here. That's how you can improve this thing. You know, once this creative thing hits you, or once this idea hits you, you don't mull on it, you go for it. Or if someone requires your help or assistance, you don't think about it, you just do it. Check in on these people, check in on that charity you set up, check in on the project that you had on before. It will benefit from your oversight. It will benefit from you checking in. It will grow, and this is how you spread that wealth. Opportunities here, Page of Cups. Fire signs have a tendency to like having an audience, especially Leos. Leos do thrive on a large group of people to engage and coordinate with. Kind of like all eyes on me kind of situation. Nothing wrong with that. You're used to just leadership roles where people do like turn to you, that kind of thing. Here, more opportunities could arise on more one-to-one kind of situations where the coordination could be a little bit more intimate. This is about like partnership more than anything. So look for opportunities in new friendships, opportunities in new relationships. It could be romantic. It doesn't always have to be romantic. Where things could like help you, or like people could help you be engaged or re-engage, encourage you to go back and do the thing, do like reminders, give you a little bit of nudges, or like more opportunities where you could tap into these creative projects, or like any other projects that you think that requires your attention the most. They could be someone who's asking you to like, hey, have you done the thing? Or, hey, I've done on my part, what have you done so far? How or things are going? Where do we go from here? It's kind of hard to get that gauge of progress when you're dealing with a whole swath of people that have varying degrees of interest or investment and what really matters to you on an emotional level. All of this is all cups here. This is all emotional investment. This is something that you love to do. This is something that makes your heart beat. Caring for someone, or at least caring about a project that has a lot of meaning to you. That, sure, it's not like logically sound, it's not practical, so be it. It has a lot of sentimental value to you. So a partnership that gets you on that level is going to help you curate it, keep your eyes on it. They may even come up to you and says, hey, I got this idea. What do you think? Should we do it? Should we do the thing? And maybe that will what makes the snowball roll into an avalanche for you in a good way. Maybe this is someone you knew from your friend circles, or like a romantic interest, or like someone who's willing to go into this partnership for you could like create this situation. So it could be that way too. You may not be the one engaging in it, especially since we have the Four of Cups here in reverse. Usually it's something that's brought to your attention and you're going to do it. You already were sitting down and you're just getting up to do it. If that makes sense. So, I think that's really cool. It's always in you, fire signs, that kind of luck. That is the opportunity you could always look out for, or maybe it will just come out of the blue. This person has this brilliant idea and you thought, let's do it. You never know. You never know. Just see where it leads and just make sure that you do come back to it. Okay, just come back to it. Keep at it, come back to it. Hi, Captain Johnny. How are you? Welcome in. So that is fire signs for the luck reading. Oh, I'm doing pretty good. If you're here for a reading, Captain Johnny, or anyone else watching, you're more than welcome to request a reading. That would be through the channel points, which is at the bottom left of your chat screen, if you want one. They are tiered based on how many cards I used. Like a card is like 100, channel points, that kind of situation. The longer you stay, the more likely you can accumulate, for a more in-depth reading if you need that kind of reading. Oh, schedule. This coming Saturday, we'll get back into the Final Fantasy IX stream. We'll continue on there. Next week, I will be working on my pruning, and I will be able to show it here on this channel. So if you love seeing my plants and me working on them, this would be a chill time for everyone to like hang out, talk about plant stuff, maybe something else while I would just do my spring pruning. I think that would be cool. And maybe I'll like do something else afterwards. We'll see. And then it will be back to normal scheduling after that. Okay, I did water signs. I did fire signs. Next is going to be earth, and then we'll end with air for group readings. And again, if you want a personal reading, don't hesitate to use the channel points. I'm more than happy to do that for all of you. Alright, earth signs. We have Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. You could use your sun sign, moon, ascendant, or a preponderance of the element, whichever is the most significant for you. Okay, we'll do that there. Oh, let me put this over here. There we go. Sorry it's taking a while to shuffle. Sometimes I'm just tired of trying to pop the cards out of the deck. It gets really messy real quick when you do something like that. Okay. Come on. There we go. There we go. Okay. So Earth signs. This is your type of luck. Okay, I really don't know how that's lucky, but I'm going to figure that out soon. Seven of Swords upside down. That's how you can improve it. The Chariot is how you can find opportunities. That's also in reverse. And also in reverse, Knight of Wands for the opportunity, how to spread that wealth. I'm going to take some time to look at things because I want to make sure I'm not like mistaking something. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Okay, this is going to be like a domino effect. Once you take care of one thing, everything's going to flow. It's like taking care of a blockage in a river. And that's what is going to happen to you, Earth signs. Let me also take a chance to look at the Knight of Wands here. Okay. Alrighty. So, Earth signs. We have a tendency to get very pessimistic about things, about our situation, probably to the point that we have this really unhealthy belief or system that we have bad luck, to the point that it has colored our view of the world. When the sun is upside down, we have a tendency to see things not so sunny, very cloudy, very blue, and has a tint all over the whole landscape. And it's usually from the mindset that's out of fear or insecurity or whatever that is. And this comes from an outdated narrative or belief that needs to be reset and examined and cut away. Because Seven of Swords, all sevens deals with an audit. Okay, I know like when it's upside up, it deals with trickery or deception. That's an audit in itself where you have to like prune out those who have been lying to you, etc. When it's in reverse, it's about the lies that you tell yourself. It's about the deception and the tricks that you pull on yourself that you need to cut out. And those are the really out of date systems or modes of narratives, of theories that kind of cater to this mindset that you had bad luck. Deep down, you know it's bullshit. Okay. Because this is a domino effect that because you think everything is bad, you won't be able to improve. And because you won't be able to improve, you won't have the opportunities that are given to you. And that's why when the opportunities do occur, you don't know how to handle them. You either like brush them off, tell them, no, I'm not worthy. No, I'm not good enough. No, I'm an imposter. No, this can't happen to me. No, 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 no. You keep saying no because you felt like you are not worthy of XYZ. And you think that you're just having bad luck. But really, it's you getting in the way of yourself. That is the harsh truth, Earth signs. It's something that you have a tendency to do because you're just so pessimistic. You think it's reality, okay, but it's a very negative bias. It's not objective. Objective does not deal with emotions. Being pessimistic, being down, is an emotion. It's mixed with fear and self-loathing. And those are emotions and perceptions that are not objective. It's not based on fact. It's not based on reality. It distorts it. This is a distortion. Let's be clear about this. So you think you have bad luck, you really don't, because it's an outdated belief that you've been carrying with you this whole time. And if you want to improve your luck, you need to turn that around. And examine yourself and go, I am a person. I'm not a bad person. I may not be a good person, but I'm a person of value. I got skills. I got experience. I could do things. That is something you're going to have to work on. Otherwise, when the opportunities do happen, your emotions kind of come up. This anxiety kicks in. This emotion of, not like happy cry emotions, okay? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about emotions of fear. Okay, the emotional fear. The emotional anxiety of what if. And then like brushing aside those opportunities because you feel like you can't do them because you're in this mindset of this imposter syndrome. And it could be like just as simple as getting a job. You prevent yourself from getting a job because you think you don't qualify for whatever it is. Well, in fact, you really do, because you haven't took the time to do the audit that you need to do. This is the auditing card. All sevens are audits. It's time to do that. If you want to turn this luck around, and the luck is really about your viewpoint on the world, and you're very pessimistic. You're getting in your own way. avoiding opportunities because you feel like you don't deserve it. Once you fix this, once you do this, you will be able to confront and manage these fears and anxieties and be able to hang on to the reins. You'll be able to move the car forward and drive at the helm instead of getting these fears and anxieties and letting them drive the helm, driving you away from these opportunities that will improve your life. Opportunities that you will love to savor, have. Now, part of it, here in the spread of the wealth, kind of like part of the nugget of the equation is, I really don't have imposter syndrome, that type of thing. If you have that going on where you're in denial, think on what anxieties pop up when you do the thing that requires long-term investment and you're in a holding pattern. You're waiting for the thing to happen. Like, for instance, publishing. Publishing a book takes a while. You are putting something together that is a long-term investment in your life. The accumulation of income from a book is very minimal per month, but keeps on giving as the months progress. As the months becomes years and years becomes decades, so long the book is out there, people are reading and buying it, you do accrue a little bit of income from that project that you had invested your time and experience with. And when you are in between these major steps in this book, you could be tempted to do side jobs that has nothing to do with your book, that's kind of more of a distraction. And from this anxiety of, because I'm sitting still, because I'm doing nothing, because I'm waiting, I'm a waste of time, I gotta do something productive, otherwise I'm gonna think I'm failing at something. Everyone has that feeling, whether it's from books or like any other art or like management or like trying to get into a job, trying to get into university, trying to get into a profession that requires you to wait in between each milestone or each like mode of achievements or experience. You get a little bit distracted with the other stuff. That doesn't really help accumulate the road that you're on. And that distraction could be one way of spreading the wealth, spreading your time and money and energy like on things that are, going to help benefit others. That's one way of looking at it. But I think there's a tendency where you tend to work on projects that don't benefit you. It's a lot of rushing around and doing nothing productive. Just the feeling that you're doing something productive even though it's not productive. See what I'm saying? Like a salesperson on the sales floor running around, rushing, doing stuff on the sales floor, but they didn't make any sales. They feel like they were productive. Or like that one famous TikTok video where you have a bunch of kids over for like Thanksgiving dinner, but there's the cleanup where everyone has to do cleanup after dinner. So you help by doing the cleanup by walking around this kitchen island. No one notices that you haven't done anything, and yet you look productive. It is a trap. So I feel like if you want to combat this feeling, to really spread the wealth of this luck, which is dealing with self-confidence, really. That's where the situation is the luck that comes from self-confidence and believing in your own value. You're going to have to sit with waiting. That's where the real value comes in. You have to be able to sit and let things percolate. You could do little tiny projects to kind of keep you busy, but understand that, when the ding goes off, you have to be ready to take it and work on it. Now, it's very common in, I'm using a lot of book analogies because I'm an author. I'm sure there's other businesses that do the same thing. Or other projects where you have one project cooking. While that project is cooking, you can have another project that is worthwhile of your investment and time. And you could work on that while that is cooking. Okay, that is one way to productively take your mind off of things and from being so pessimistic. Like, you have one book done, or one comic book done, or like one YouTube video done, or at least it's in the stage where it has to wait and percolate, whatever it is, that holding pattern. You can turn and focus on the next thing that's going to follow in that work. And you can spend that extra work hours on whatever that is that you need to do. So if you have book one waiting in the wings, you could work on book two while that is percolating. That is the benefit you can do. Just make sure that the thing that you're working on is an actual investment of your time and money, and not something just to keep you busy, just so you could feel good about yourselves. And in a book analogy industry related, I mean like working on short stories to magazines that don't pay you. Or working on short stories for like a service that is just meant for exposure. That doesn't pay you and keep you busy as a actual author. Because you are worthy of payment. You are worthy. Okay. You're worthy of your time and money because it does take time and money to do the thing. So, if you have nothing else going on while you're sitting and waiting, you're going to have to find peace with it. And it could be just taking time to fight against this imposter syndrome that you have about yourself. So, Capricorns, that I'm sure, or not Capricorns, Virgos, Tauruses, once you defeat your imposter syndrome, once you defeat this very negative, pessimistic mindset, your luck will improve because the luck deals with your confidence and how you value yourself. And once you deal with that, or have the means to wrangle that in when it does come up, you'll be able to go for it. Make sure you can keep yourself busy with stuff that are worthy of your time, not just playing into this anxiety. Okay? Oh, another analogy that's not like a book analogy, if you are applying for another job, and while you're applying for that job, you could line up other interviews until finally you have a set of interviews. You are ready to go, ready to work on them when they finally come to call you, just make sure it's for businesses that you are willing to work with. Don't just do interviews half-ass, you know. Don't do it for companies that you kind of don't want to work with. Okay, just making that clear. That's another way of doing it. That Knight of Wands in reverse interpretation. If for some reason the book analogies are just a little bit too complex, you know, to understand. Ads are going to kick in pretty soon, but before they do, oh well. I'll just wait until the ads happen are done. Next we have air signs. Oh goodness. Ah. Okay. I hope the next one is good for air signs. I really do. It's kind of funny how, for the longest time, I tend to associate astrological readings with my moon and ascendant and all the other fire signs. I have a very strong Sagittarius placement, which grants me a very high preponderance in fire, even though I have like a Gemini, cusping Cancer kind of sign in my sun. So for the longest time, I have a really strong association with fire signs, and I tend to like pick up messages from those fire sign readings. But for the past few months, I got to a point where I started picking up messages from the air sign readings because of my sun sign. And I wonder if it's because I reached a point in my life where I am able to accept all parts of myself, you know, the good and bad parts of myself. You know, I'm a lot happier, full of confidence within myself, where I'm not relying more on my moon ascendant side of myself, you know, but like I'm more confident with who I am, what I am, all my good and bad parts of myself, where I'm able to pick up or at least start accepting that I'm a Gemini too, you know. And it's very fascinating for me that, you know, those messages are starting to really resonate with me when I do like air sign readings. And I'm not relying heavily on fire sign readings. I do believe there is literature out in the astrological fields that they consider the moon side as the not dark side of the personality, but like the side of ourselves when we feel a little disconnected with our confidence. Because the sun is about our ego. And if we lack our confidence, we lack in like believing in ourselves. And that requires a little bit of ego. This belief in ourselves. So I wonder if that lack of confidence shifts people's perspective where they feel stronger with their other parts of their charts and less with their sun sign. Because they don't have that strong connection with their core selves. So it's something I've been thinking about, you know, lately when I've been doing these type of readings that are based on elemental signs. Okay, next up is air signs. Air signs are Geminis, Aquarius, and Libras. We're going to examine y'all's luck. What kind of luck you have, how to improve it, where to spread the wealth of that luck, what opportunities to look out for. You know the drill by now. I like doing this every year. I feel like because of the whole host of issues that pop up, you know, it's always going to be a little bit different every year. And I think it just helps to have a fresh new perspective or like a new message that really taps into how we're feeling or thinking of the moment. I have a really strong feeling that it is just a little bit different from what it was last year. And in many ways, I'm glad I'm putting this on YouTube, so that way when this happens again next year, maybe, I could like examine it, you know, and analyze how different or how much the same it is. But I can only like go too far with it, because it is based on who is tuning in and who's listening. And some people come and go, you know, that needs to hear it. But it's something I would like to do next year as these readings progress. Or at least the channel progress. Okay, this is your type of luck. Or this is how lucky you are in this particular area. How to improve it. Opportunities that you could look out for. And how to spread the luck. Okay. So right off the bat, we have the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is about nostalgia, going back to childhood. You know, things that heals our inner child. That's the kind of luck that we have. We do, I could be wrong, but I think we do have the tendency to have this very buoyant personality. I could be wrong. That kind of inner child sense, you know, of looking at the world, enjoying things that most people would consider childish, okay? Enjoying the cutesy stuff, the kid stuff. It could be anime, it could be cartoons, it could be, you know, whatever it is that most people will turn their nose up on. That is your luck, you know, that kind of enjoyment. Going back to like this secure area that you have and it's readily available to you. You just got to tap into it. So that's where you can really dive into. It's kind of funny because we have a tendency to think about like luck as I had to stop myself because my view of luck is not normal with everyone else's. This is kind of like a resource where if you tap into that inner child, that inner sense, that really cute, happy place that makes you like kick your feet, that kind of thing, that gives you that little tiny joy in your life, that helps you go about life in a easier way. Okay. And things just kind of has a nice, wonderful quality to it. Because you were able to have that sense of, taking a break. It's like diving into a fantasy world and then like coming back from having like such a wonderful adventure and you feel refreshed. That refreshness is what keeps you buoyant as you go along in life. And because you feel good about yourself, you have a tendency to attract or seek out the good. That type of thing. So that's how that luck occurs and permeates. That feel good energy that comes from tapping to something that really engages or re-engages that inner child. It could be this anime that you really love, or manga, or it could be like a cartoon. It could be any movie that you like love getting into. It could be video games that most people are not really into. It's not really popular, but it really resonates with you. And it just really makes you feel really super good inside that you haven't felt since you were a child. That kind of thing. It could also be other things that I mentioned. It could be like cookies. It could be like, how the home smells when you're a child. It could be the clothes that you wear. It could be other things, that helps kick into that nostalgic trip that makes you feel good. So that is how you could tap into that luck if you really want to. That things could like turn things around for you. And that's what you could use. How to improve it is Two of Wands. Two of Wands deals with planning, which sounds really mundane. But I think it deals with planning, making moves, and following through. And it could also mean like leaving something for that opportunity. It has that air about them. So let me go ahead and just dive into this a little bit more. It's not just about making decisions. It's about making plans where you physically take upon and move through it. I keep missing it. There we go. Ah, yes. Okay. A decision between staying in the environment that is familiar but no longer stimulating, or making a change that holds promise but might not deliver the anticipated rewards. So what you can do to improve this luck is look into your environment, see if it stimulates that childlike wonder or that giddiness that really sparks your joy. If I'm to use a very famous home decorator, does it spark joy? Does it give you that joy? And if it doesn't, plan to make some changes, even though the change may not create the reward. It's not guaranteed. Okay. If it's not guaranteed, then you could always make another change. Okay. Hopefully the change you need to make doesn't, it's not expensive. It could be like redecorating. It could be oh wow, this no longer sparks joy. Maybe I should, like, you know, change up my wardrobe. Or it could be like, oh yeah, I really love these animes. I watch them all the time. Maybe I add a new anime to my collection. Maybe a friend could loan me something that I could hyperfixate and fall into. You know, that kind of thing. So, if the environment doesn't spark joy, make some changes where it can, and that's how you could improve it. And it's just about like making a decision on whether it does or doesn't, and it does require some planning with those decisions. So just think on it, assess your situation, assess your environment, and if it just doesn't, do what needs to be done to make it happen. It's possible you may have to leave that environment, or you could change it radically where it looks completely new. Opportunities. 5 of Wands. So 5 of Wands is about conflict, but there are some good conflicts to have, especially if it's something worth fighting for. It's kind of weird to think of opportunities through fighting, but like, hear me out for a second. It could be about I keep thinking about this. This is from K.N.Fitzwater when he was about to work on the Young Frankenstein. And he cared about this project so much that, or either it was Young Frankenstein or the Willy Wonka. And he was talking to the producers about like making this thing happen. And they're doing the devil's advocates, they're like giving him all the reasons not to do this thing, alternatives to do something else, and he's so adamant. He's like, no, we just gotta do this thing. And because he was willing to fight for the thing, they were willing to know that this is something worth sinking their teeth into, and thus they were able to go along with it. They just wanted to see how passionate he is about the thing. So, using that analogy, is there something that is worth fighting for, in a way? It doesn't have to be a fight, but like, if it's something that you are willing to be passionate about, yeah, it's a hyperfixation. But like, if it's something that is worthy of your time and investment, and you're willing to like do it without no matter what anyone says. Okay, there's going to be a lot of wet blankets out there. They'll try to like keep you away from the thing, because the thing doesn't always have practical uses. Okay, redecorating a place is not practical all the time. Okay, not everything has to be energy efficient. Not everything has to be done for a rental. I don't know how many times I go through like the comments on YouTube for a short, and you see people renovating their homes, redecorating it the way they want to, and a lot of people in the comments says, or there goes their rental, value, whatever it is. You're not living for someone else. You're living for you. Okay? It's not for them to decide how you should live in your own space. And that goes with anything else that you absolutely adore and are ravenous about. So, what other opportunities may come up? Other people seeing your passion about this thing is going to inspire them, or want to work with you, or at least engage with you in like discussing about this awesome thing that like brings you joy. This joy that is very tenacious. Okay, there's a lot of wet blankets out there that will want to smother it because they're miserable. Okay, they have their own problems. They need to work it out. But that little joy that you have, it's worth keeping and doing. And other people seeing that joy are going to be inspired and want to do that joy with you. So don't worry about like what other people say or what they think. They may like try to poke and prod you to do things their own way. Do something that makes you happy. That's how you're going to get that luck. And when other people see your passion and something that makes you happy and giddy, they're joining in on the fun. It's like Footloose. Okay? They see you dancing around, having fun. They want to dance around and have fun too. Nine of Wands. How to spread the wealth. Hi, Ember. Welcome back. How to spread this wealth of this, luck. It's fascinating. Because this is about the peak of things are about to accumulate to its very climax, and it's just about pushing through to get to that peak. So let me take some time to like read up on this, because usually this is about like a project that you work really hard on and finally it's on the cusp of making things happen, and you just got to push it until finally it comes into fruition and requires that last push, to make it there. So that's what it's talking about. To spread that wealth of joy, it could manifest into like, say, a fan club or like a creative project that you want to share with others, like a fanfic, and just trying to complete the thing so you could share it. That's probably what it's talking about. And that's how you could spread that joy. If there is a fanfic you want to write that you want to spread the joy with, it's okay to push yourself to complete the thing, so that way you could share it with others. Yeah, make things happen. 777 Blues, thank you so much for the follow. If you still want to chill and hang out, you're more than welcome to do so. For those coming in, this is for air signs. I already did the readings for everyone else. It's the air's turn to be last. I open up to the Five of Pentacles. And it's really indicative of what I was talking about. So let me make a detour here real quick. Back on the Five of Wands. The Five of Pentacles often indicates inadequate spiritual nourishment, resulting in emotional disconnection and inner emptiness. Sometimes a person who others consider wealthy or successful inwardly feel alone, unhappy, or unfulfilled. With discipline, supportive habits can provide the spiritual nourishment needed, etc. So, is this something you're passionate about that you're willing to fight for? Does lend into that sense of, does this make you feel spiritually nourished, tapping into this nostalgic childhood joy? And are you willing to fight for it? And I think it is, because it does give you a sense of being full, spiritually full. And that fullness is going to bring joy to others. So that's kind of like adding another layer to this, and I just wanted to share. It's going to make you feel full of joy. Alright, Nine of Wands. If we get there. By the way, if there's anything that doesn't really make sense or you're confused about, please do, like, ask. I'm more than happy to, like, dive into it. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like pushing yourself to complete the thing. To complete it so that way you can work on that project. There is a tendency, I do this too, where we have a look ahead of the new project, look ahead of the new game, the new joy, new whatever it is, and not really like finishing it, not completing it. I keep thinking about fanfic, but it's other things that like bring other people joy that you love, that gives you that inner sense of like nostalgia. And it's okay to push yourself to complete it and get it done so that way you could share it. So I'm not off the mark. I had to double check myself to see if there's anything else there, but that's what it was. For sure. So I don't know if you're like, I keep thinking fan club, fan art, fanfics, doing those things, sharing it out with others, that's totally okay. It's going to make you feel full. Okay? You won't be empty. And when other people see that joy, and they'll see it when you do finish it and share it, you will attract more like-minded people who will relish and enjoy the same things that you like gobble up and eat and like desire and like absolutely like are very giddy and happy about. So nothing wrong in pursuing something that gives you like happiness. I think there's like a cereal company that deals with childhood cereals, but because they were like nutritionally low, especially like in protein, they were able to remake their childhood cereals into something that is nutritionally valuable. And I think it's called Magic Spoon. Not sponsored at all. Because they were able to tap into that nostalgia and something that really like brings them this kind of like inner child sense, tapping into that inner child. They were able to come up together, make a plan about like how to improve this thing, and are able to complete it and share it and made a business out of it. You don't have to, but that is another example of tapping into that childhood joy, and sharing it with others that are outside the realm of fan fics, fan arts, and fan stuff, So, that's another way to extrapolate the data. Data. That's here. So, I hope that makes sense for all of you, like air signs. Ads will kick in pretty soon. I will shuffle those pretty soon, too. Oh, goodness. It's a little bit dark. Okay, that lightens up a little bit. Okay, there we go. So, that's it on the group readings. Ads will kick in, but afterwards, if y'all want any personal readings, I'll be happy to do those if you want to send them right now. And thank you so much for like chilling and hanging out. If you want to head out, completely understandable. I do have about like 15 minutes left of the stream. Ooh, I need to sit back more often. I think that is something I will take with me. That air sign reading. Try to tap into that joy. What is it that I enjoy with what I do, and just try to bring it forth. I think that's a really good message. I'm going to take that with me. And hopefully stop my imposter syndrome. And I probably will keep that luck reading on for the rest of the year and just bring it back up to 400 channel points once we're past St. Patty's. Or at least the last week of March, I think. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. The last week of March, I probably will bring the channel points up to 400 just to go along with everything else. Ooh, and next week is spring. I'm celebrating the return of spring by working on the plants and pruning them and all that stuff. That will be Eris readings traditionally. If I had any time after pruning the trees, I might be able to do those for you. Otherwise, I probably will move the Eris readings to the last week of this month. If that makes sense for everyone. I read it somewhere it's the autistic thing to ask people if that makes sense. I feel like that's an air sign thing too. We have a tendency to go 1,000 miles per hour with our thoughts and tend to leave people behind. I'm curling smelly things from the grill and just smells awesome. It smells so good. Welcome back everyone for the ads. I can't speak. I was telling those who were able to see without the ads that next week will be first day of spring. We'll get into Aries season next week on Thursday. Wednesday will be the day where I will be pruning the trees, having a totally different stream altogether, doing a little bit of gardening here in this house. And just going to share some of that with all of you for next week. Not really tarot stuff. So it will be a couple of weeks before I do any tarot. But I hope the gardening thing will be enjoyable. So last call for personal readings if y'all are needing personal readings. I'm going to go ahead and take the time to see who we could raid if we have enough people by the end of the stream. I had the whole house airing and just that slam of the door. There's no air resistance and it would just slam. Okay. Let's see. There's so much streaming that I never heard of before. Really thinking about them. Let me check in. Let me see if there's someone we could like rate in. Oh, they're like no. They're like no. How new? We have to follow. Okay, I found someone who we could raid. For sure. Last call for any readings before we head off to another amazing new tarot reader person. They just started their stream. Otherwise, I want to thank all of you so much for being here. I really appreciate all of you hanging out, chit-chatting, checking in. It's really nice to see all of you. Once again, those who have been returning back or like those who are new, thank you for the new follows for today. It always makes me happy that like new people are always coming in. And for all of you Twitch VOD viewers, if you made it to the very end, thank you so much for watching. I'm very happy that like all of you are enjoying, the VODs on YouTube, and that really makes me happy. And I hope you continue to like watching the stuff on YouTube as well. It just tickles me that y'all really like what I've been doing on YouTube, what little I have done. So I just really appreciate, the kindness over there. As well as the kindness of you here. I really appreciate all of you. So, I heard dinner, so I guess this is it. Let me go ahead and do the raid right now. Go ahead and give Jody, or Turtles, all of our love. She is a fellow queer content creator, a amazing lesbian, also tarot reader. She's just getting started, so if you like need anything for your tarot readings, she's gonna have your back. I trust in her abilities, and she really has that wonderful joy about her, and I think that you will love her streams as well. I'm gonna go ahead and head off, get some nums. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Final Fantasy IX, continuing that this coming Saturday. Next week, doing some gardening. Back to normal schedule afterwards. So stay tuned. I'll see you all later. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for being here. And enjoy her stream. Be kind. Be good. I'll see you all later.